This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Many of us do a great job taking care of our loved ones, yet find it selfish to take care of ourselves. Here's a reminder that you deserve the same love and care that you give to others. Visit betterhelp.com/allies and prioritize your well-being.
Hello, welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This week, I'm joined by Brad Ellis.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Yo.
And in the control room, we've got Don Casanova.
Hello, hello.
And Gabby.
There she is.
Friends, we're here to discuss some headlines. I don't know how big they are, but they're headlines.
There's one big one to me, damn it.
Yeah? Okay, we'll get there. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
The makers of Dead by Daylight announced several new games. We got new Pokemon details, including a bagel dog. But before we get started, we must answer for the mistakes we made in the last episode. Don, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
Crazy stuff here. Okay, you might know some of this, you might not, Huber. Mafia Definitive Edition and Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 Remastered are all included in the premium tier of PlayStation Plus, but not the extra tier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This is weird stuff.
That is weird.
Even though that Mafia was a full-on remake. It wasn't just like a PS2 port or something. You know? Meanwhile, Yakuza Kiwami and Kiwami 2 will be available on Extra as well as Premium.
Weird.
So when it comes to Last of Us Part 1 and other remakes, there's no telling what tier Sony is going to throw them in.
Oh.
Just made that whole proposition way more confusing.
Man, it would have been just more convenient if there's only 2 tiers.
Right?
That would have been a little more convenient.
And I know, Game Pass Hype has all those Yakuza games, just right? Boom.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
they
think
do
some of
right
them
now.
started to pull out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they have all of them.
Come back, go out, come back in.
I always forget that.
Yeah.
I'm still not used to things like coming and going on the subscription services for sure. Even
I don't
though
know the
be.
current status, but I know at one point, there were people saying that some Yakuza games are going away.
Got it.
Don asked if you ever see the extinction of dinosaurs in a video game. And in fact, this may not be the only example. It's probably not the only example. In the Super NES game EVO, Search for Eden, you actually do see the dinosaurs get wiped out by asteroids falling from the sky.
Cool.
Whoa.
Followed by dropping temperatures. Your creature, it's a weirdo chimera thing that you take through the ages, then continues on into an ice age for the next level.
Whoa.
This was depressing. Blood shared this video with us. I don't know what ungodly hour the night it was, 7 a.m. I'm saying, what the heck is this? And before you know it, I'm watching this very prolonged and brutal 16-bit montage death scene of the dinosaurs getting clobbered by meteors. It was a very depressing thing. I had no idea. I still don't remember asking if about the extinction of dinosaurs in the game. So I was like, what is this? It was depressing, but that game looks sick as hell, though. I really want to play it now, though. Actually, that game looks amazing.
Yeah, I've never played it. I've known about it since I was a kid, but it's got its fan base for sure. Several people pointed out that in the original GTA, you can in fact play as a female character. There are multiple female characters.
A lot.
You could select from 8 characters in that game in the original PC version, and half of those are women. Their names are Katie, Miki, Ulrika, and Divine.
Sick.
So, Huber, we were a little confused by these World War II themed playing games.
Yes.
The vertical scrolling arcade shooters.
Made Brad play Gradius 1 with me. Brad was over. It was like,
We didn't play Gradius.
We played, what did we play?
It was not Gradius. I don't know.
Did we play Striker? No, we
Yeah.
played Gradius.
No, we didn't play Gradius.
100%.
Gradius is the
Not
side-scrolling
Let
spaceship
me fucking
game.
look at my PlayStation thing
Is it the-
right
This is
now.
hilarious.
We
Was it the
played 2
side-scrolling
players. You're a
shooter or was it
maniac.
a top-down shooter?
You are unhinged, my friend.
We'll see.
Truly.
So the game that Huber first referenced is called Strikers 1945. developed and released
Pretty sure
by
that's what we played.
Psycho in
no,
1995.
What did we play?
With 2 sequels that were simply called Strikers 1945-2 and Strikers 1945-3, as well as ports and re-releases and all that.
Huber was talking about the Capcom game.
We're
weren't you?
getting there, Don.
Honest
okay.
mistake here. Honest mistake. Gradius? Raiden. Played Raiden.
Oh,
one.
Raiden is sick as hell. Yeah, that's top
Wrong
down.
still. So once
Raiden
you
is
be
top
a
down.
little more hinged instead of being unhinged, you maniac.
Okay.
I'm always right.
hinging
Huber.
down.
You
I'm
know
hinging
that.
down.
I'm always right.
Always. Damn it.
Okay, so we got the Strikers 1945 series by Psycho, which is the mid-90s
Yes.
to late 90s. Then there's also Capcom series, which started with 1942. It's just simply 1942.
So we were right.
First released in 1984.
So it was before.
like 10 years before.
Nice.
Okay. That had several sequels as well, including 1943 and 1987. 19XX, The War Against Destiny in 1996. And 1942 was one of Capcom's first early hits, so it's been released, for the NES and all
Several
kinds of
times,
other
yeah.
things. And, sequels upon sequels and ports upon ports.
I saw this week too. They were releasing more shoot 'em ups, little flying shoot 'em ups. I checked the store last night. I was like, dude, they're flooding this. Love this. I'm on a little plane shooter kick.
Nice. There's a lot out there for sure.
Hell yeah.
Did they mention
doing that research.
1944, the Loop Master blood? No mention of the Loop Master, though, huh?
I saw it in there when I was looking those up, but yeah, I didn't write that one down, but it's
Yeah,
in there.
okay. All right, cool.
I think that's on the Capcom side, right? That's
Yeah, that's definitely Capcom.
Yeah.
That was like 2000 or something, though.
I was correct in remembering that the lead developer of Thirsty Suitors is Sri Lankan. However, I also bundled up Southeast Asia in my description of its characters. Sri Lanka is part of South Asia, not Southeast Asia, so a little off. Thought it was worth making this distinction.
Heck
Like,
yeah.
Keep it accurate.
It's like I know where Sri Lanka is, but I don't sometimes know where we
counts.
created these little bubbles of things.
Totally.
So, yeah. If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments. You can do that on either the public version of this podcast or the patron version of this episode. Start with the word correction so I can search for it, and then leave a timestamp so I can go back and see what we were talking about. Get the full context of the conversation.
Context is key.
Yeah. End corrections music.
Boop.
Before we get to this week's headlines, we actually have an update on one of last week's stories.
Ooh, love updates.
Came in just hours after we shot. The Nier church
Yes.
mystery. So if you missed it, last week's story. So basically, there's this player who had claimed to have found a door to a hidden church. There's video upon video. There's a lot of confusion back and forth of trying to talk to this guy, weird details, etc. People were so impressed. They were like, this can't be a mod. We all know what the
Yeah.
mods can do, etc., etc., etc. It's a mod.
It's
Yep.
just the best mod. The best one, I guess.
Well, what it turns out is basically it's not just any mod. It's a new mod from a new set of modders, or maybe not a new set of modders, but they have created new tools. And so before now, you really couldn't edit map data and add new levels and stuff in there. But three modders, Devola's Revenge, Wolful Wolf, and Raider Bee, developed new tools to make it possible. They admitted that they were behind the Sad Futago personality and the crazy shenanigans, but they never expected it to blow up. They're just
Yeah.
oh yeah, we'll just throw this out there for our friends and our community, and
So cool.
New
everyone
friends
started picking up on it.
Desperate.
Wild
They were
story.
hoping for anything. Anything.
And then the mod will be made public.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to be releasing the tools that they use to achieve it as well.
That's fun.
For the rest of the community.
Awesome. So, a lot of Nier content coming in the modding scene.
Yeah, if you're into Nier mods,
Yeah.
you've got some new play tools to play with, something like that.
Sick.
Yeah.
So
Player tools.
fun stuff. Thought it was worth mentioning since a lot of
Yeah,
people saw the
case
podcast
closed.
after the news broke. So
Yeah.
it's one of those. But on to this week's news. Earlier this week, Behavior Interactive, makers of Dead by Daylight, had a showcase, their first showcase called Behavior Beyond. And there's quite a few things in here. There's definitely some Dead by Daylight stuff, but then they showed off some new games as well, some that they're working on and some that they're kind of assisting with. First off, Huber, Project W.
Yeah.
Rebecca Chambers.
Dude, yes.
Ada Wong.
Yes.
Albert Wesker.
Always down for some Rebecca Chambers crumbs, Capcom. Thanks for that. Always down.
Coming to Dead by Daylight along with the Raccoon City PD.
Hell yeah.
Wait, isn't that in there already?
Yeah, that was already in there.
Oh, okay.
RPD, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the RPD came with Nemesis.
Yeah, came with
and
Nemesis.
So maybe
Plaion.
they're updating it or something?
Yeah.
They mentioned it in there, but maybe I just skimmed it too quick. Let me see what the email says.
I just really like the way Wesker slams the barrier in that trailer. It looks so awesome.
That is cool.
He's got his Ouroboros
Or
hand.
RE5 Wesker, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Looked awesome.
it says a map rework.
Oh, okay, rework.
So
Cool.
Yeah, so I guess they're going to revisit it and change up the layout some.
Cool.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
That's sick, yeah.
Definitely want to get everyone together to play this.
Yeah.
We should absolutely do this 100%.
yeah. How can
Yeah,
you
it's
not want
gonna
to
be
play
a big one.
Wesker?
Exactly. The best.
It's cooler than Nemesis, like, any day.
Yeah. That I haven't done it yet because I want it to be right. I want it to be with all of you. So that's why I haven't booted this up yet. It came out like 2 days ago, right? Or
No, I think
Or
it's
coming
still
out?
coming soon.
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah,
soon,
they
okay.
announced it a couple of days ago,
That's
but they
right, that's
haven't put it out yet.
Okay.
What they did put out, though, Huber,
Yeah.
Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim.
That's what came out. Shadow Drop. Dude, this is crazy. This looks so fun. I hope the minigames are really fun because I really liked Boyfriend Dungeon a lot. I love that game, but the combat kind of goes into the dungeon crawling action. You're
Yeah,
taking
this is
people out.
more visual novel.
This is
Yeah.
way more visual novel. But the trailer had some like weird little basic mini games in there. But what a cool way to expand your franchise, just in unexpected ways. Like I don't think anyone would have seen this coming. I know they announced it a while ago.
Yeah,
knew it
we
was
actually had a
coming.
little game with Ben when he was on his last episode.
Yeah,
So we had him matching us up with
Hell
Dead by
yeah.
Daylight villains.
hell yeah.
Chillers, I guess. There's a specific term. I've
There
missed
was like
it.
a KFC dating sim game like this also.
What?
And I feel like that it was a while ago. I feel like it opened up the floodgates for dating sims off stuff you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, true.
I don't remember what it was called though.
The KFC thing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a weird little marketing stunt there.
Yeah.
It's nothing gonna be Sneak King though.
Sneaking. I still got it.
3 different games.
I still have
Physical
one or two.
games.
I still have
Yeah.
one or two of those.
I think, Brad, you're talking about I Love You, Colonel Sanders.
That might be it.
That's
yeah.
it.
For Steam, and it has a 9 out of 10 on Steam, so people
Holy
liked
shit.
it.
I'm sure.
No stopping the
I'm
memes.
sure it's definitely not.
Don, there is a Jurassic World mobile game called Primal Ops. Didn't look good to me. Did it look good to you?
It didn't look so good to me, Blood. And I was watching the trailer and I'm saying this thing looks like a mobile game. And then when it was confirmed, I was just done deal. I'm not in. You know, it was a little clunky looking, the movement. And then once I found out it was mobile, the ones, I mean, maybe, I don't know if you call it a saving grace, but the tiny part when they did show you teaming up with the dinos and kind of, if that was like a console game, I could see that mechanic being fun. It looked like you were directing your dino and you were sort of playing sort of like AI directed dino. But, so that looked fun. But yeah, not a lot of hope for this game.
Yeah. Probably the low point of the stuff they had there. But some new games. Flippin' Misfits. This is a crazy
Oh,
one.
yeah.
So this is a gravity-based multiplayer game coming in September. The way that they move around kind of reminds me
so
of
cool.
Gravity Rush more than anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Kind of a Keyblade vibe too. It looked like when they're clashing with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't look like a Keyblade, but like the vibe of it was like, oh, it kind of looks like freaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it feels like, they were like dueling
They
it
were
out.
kinda-
there with-
yeah.
with their swords.
Totally. Always try. I always try to try multiplayer games like this, at least, with Damiani or Group Stream or whatever. Some stick, some don't.
Yeah.
Always eager to try them out. This one looks really creative and definitely had me interested.
Yeah, I'm curious how it's going to really like play out, like
Yeah.
because it just seems like you kind of have. I feel like it's the in between spot, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's one thing to like, okay, I'm gonna shift from the ground to the ceiling or whatever, but when I'm floating, how vulnerable am I? Like, how long is that going to take?
Yeah.
How quickly can I swap to one side to the other?
It's going to be how bad that game feels, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks all right. I'm not terribly excited about it, but it looked colorful, so that's nice.
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to be like a big deal.
I was
It's
kind of
just, like, a quick
surprised.
little-
I don't know if it's surprising, but I was surprised there's only 4 players. I was like, smaller scale fights that I recall nowadays. It seems like everything's bigger now, but could be sweet.
Yeah. Well, if you're dueling, then maybe that makes a little more sense. Yeah, but that's the one thing is like this trailer was so short, you know, and they showed, you know, they wanted to focus on the gravity flipping stuff that I didn't feel like I saw a whole lot of
course,
like one-on-one combat. So more to see.
Quick shout out to Life's Simple Pleasures, just in Mario Galaxy, jumping and then being like pulled by the planet gravity. Oh, good stuff.
Project S.
Isla bait,
Yeah.
Isla bait,
Big time Isla Bay.
biggest
I
Isla
wish
bait.
that Isla was able to stick around tonight, but yeah, it's actually being made by Lunark Studios, partnered with Behavior. This is an open world puzzle game. I'm having a hard time like totally wrapping my head around it because it looked like they're just like moving around. It kind of reminded me of like Immortals
because they're flying
they
around.
would fly around like
But then
like
it was
with angel
third
wings.
person, but then first person. I was confused of what.
Well, yeah, that's
actually
because
is.
that's the thing is like it seems like you've got this giant world to explore, and then you have like these puzzles that pop up, kind of like The Witness or something.
It's what I was of the Witness
And
big time.
Forgotten City a little bit, shades of that in there, like maybe.
In the art style and the way the world looks, not really the way it plays.
Yeah.
You know, because Forgotten City is like a giant dialogue tree. So whereas this is like you've got all these like tile puzzles and stuff going on, but then it also looked like there might be some environmental puzzles like Talos Principle style. So that's the other thing that I was thinking. It kind of reminded me of.
Oh, sure.
Especially again with that art style.
Yeah, there's like laser puzzles too.
Kind of this sort of Mediterranean Greek ruin
It had
kind
like
of thing.
Asian in it too. It seemed like just a culture clash, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and then there are like a bunch of islands that are like floating around.
Yeah.
And then the thing that's really crazy to me is there's this multiplayer elements to it, and it's like how does
that
work?
multiplayer puzzles?
Because there's things like you can do solo, you can do co-op, or you can do like have big groups of people together, and like we're doing puzzles. What?
Are you just like watching? Your
Are you
friend
just
do a
wandering
puzzle?
around and then
Hey, that sounds cool to me.
like, hey dude, I'm gonna go do a puzzle. Talk to you later.
If that is, we should stream it and make Mike do every puzzle, and everyone just watches him.
It's gonna be a long night if that goes down. It's gonna be a long night. Oh my god.
But here's their description from the press email. Solo, co-op, or even large multiplayer game modes. Surrounded by floating islands, ancient architecture, and awe-inspiring vistas, players will complete quests, find secrets, and discover new puzzle islands, all while learning more about the origin and fate of this enigmatic universe.
Kind of an Outer Wilds
Maybe?
situation, like mysterious universe vibes.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing I wonder, too, is, if we're only seeing, like, kind of like,
One
sort of themed area, and if you get further in, it's like, okay, here's your giant lava cave, or here's your sci-fi
Your ice area,
cyberpunk city, or what else they might have going on in there. But the biggest announcement of the bunch, this game called Meet Your Maker.
Fucking hyped. Holy crap. This trailer, the longer I kept watching it, the more hyped I got. Just them talking about everything. Like, I'm ready to make peach trees. Mega City 1, dude. Let's go. Climbing up the ranks. So this game, you have to protect your, like, genetic material.
Yeah. It's I think it's like pure genetic material.
Yeah.
This is a giant vial at the center of the stage. Yeah.
And you have to defend it. So you create your base and you are completely changing the layout. You're adding traps, you're adding monsters in there, big old freakos, maybe even like boss monsters, I think, too. Like at
Some
the
of the guys
end.
are pretty big. I don't know if they're bosses or not, but yeah.
And then, so you do that, but then when you're not like designing your base, then you have to go into other people's bases and steal their genetic material and get out. Then they also revealed there's co-op.
Yeah.
One of the character just had a gun. The other one had this cool sword.
Yeah, this sword is like, it's just like a big chunk of metal. It's like a lawnmower blade, essentially.
And
you
again,
got like a grappling shot thing too.
the grappling, and again,
Very Halo-like.
dude, the longer it went on, the more hyped I got, because right out of the gate, immediately, I'm like, kind of this like muddy, gross looking,
it's kind of
Mad
like
Max-y,
Mad Max post-apocalyptic
like
kind of thing,
post-apocalyptic Fallout. I'm just like, ugh. But it actually, like, the enemies looked cool. The lead character looked cool. I liked like their helmet thing.
Yeah, I do.
Like everything like looked cool. All like anytime it showed the buildings being built up, it's like, dude, that's actually looks awesome for such an overused setting. It's been done so many times, but it still looks distinct and looks really cool.
I only saw the trailer, but I know they did like a lot of gameplay of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see the extra gameplay.
I'm just wondering if it's like round based or if it's more like in an open kind of setting where you can spend as much time as you want building and just chill in your base or something like that. Like I was thinking of Rust also at this game at the same time, just being in this like server or whatever with a bunch of other people. And
Yeah, I am curious how you like match up onto a base.
Okay, I know one of the devs said in the thing, he was like, you can freely do whichever one you want at any time. So when you get tired of building, you can go take someone out. So I wonder if it's just matchmake, like, invade or whatever, and then it'll just match you into someone's level, maybe.
Yeah, because to me, I'm picturing something that's like Mario Maker, right? Like you've just got like a whole bunch of levels, and you're like, all right, which one am I gonna pick, and then load into that guy's base. And
they said dying is part of it. You said that you're gonna die a bunch, and you can obviously level up your stuff as you go.
Yeah, but I don't. So with that, Brad, I don't think that like somebody can like come and invade you while you're building.
Oh, okay.
I think like you have to set it all up,
Got it.
and then people like try to tackle it. Yeah.
Invasion.
Shades of Let It Die a little bit there. You had your base.
The one shot I really like in the trailer is with the round like grenades or whatever that pop out of the wall. So it's like he turned one corner and like grenades came at him, and he turned the other corner, like, oh, another set of grenades.
Yeah, traps.
Spike traps everywhere, dude.
Stuff like that.
Spike trap hype.
Don, I know you got to watch this, and I know you like to build levels. What are you thinking?
Don's death traps, dude.
I saw this. It looks fun. I mean, it definitely looks cool. I got Peachtree's vibes too when I saw the towers being erected. I don't know why Isla did the same. The game looks fun. My only concerns, or what I wanted to see more of from the trailer, I would say, is the variety of what you're building with. You really only saw the blocks, and then you saw a few individual enemies you're putting down, and then you saw the traps in action, but you didn't see any kind of detailed menu of your inventory. There was a button there I noticed that said inventory, so there's obviously items, but it was even hard to really parse, well, what are the individual pieces I get to lay when they're just showing the gameplay, like the non-editor mode. When they were showing the editor mode, it looked, pretty simple, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it reminded me a little bit of the Doom, level maker, because you're doing first person. I mean, Doom was different because you were getting kind of modular blocks of building and connecting them all. This one looks like you can build individual blocks. Here's the thing with the round thing, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, this has to have some element to make this work. I don't know if this is how they're doing it, but I was thinking if it has a timer-based thing, like somehow you're matched up against someone else, you have equal assets, equal time to build each one of your corresponding bases, and then you have an equal amount of time to raid each other's bases where you're trying to get this genetic material. I don't know. That could be really, to me, that sounds like really appealing compared to just having a whole menu of bases you can choose from that people built, that you just have any time limit. I think if there's some kind of timed factor, putting people one-on-one with the building and the raiding, it could be intensely fun, even if that's just a mode. So I'm hopeful.
And Don, I would love if there was a rival system. Somebody steals your stuff, and then you can go into like that. You can challenge that person direct.
That would be sick. Yep, things like that could make it really fun. So definitely want to see a little more from it, though. But it looks fun. I mean, it looked cool, and good vibes with the look of it, the grittiness, and I liked it.
Yeah, slated for release in 2023. And they do say every level is designed by other players. So
cool.
It really is up to the community to make the craziest things. So be interesting to see what those tools they've got are going to be like.
Gonna see some ludicrously ridiculous bases in that for sure.
Brutal
Someone's making
difficulty.
Sense Fortress.
Yeah, you're gonna see.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1-to-1.
Actually, for a game like that actually would be kind of fun to see people try to recreate things like that, and then you try to survive. I wonder too how hard it is to get out on some of those.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because it's like you get the material, but then can you design traps that are like specifically?
It triggers, you set off an alarm.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh
fun
my
idea.
God.
And then again, like kind of like Don was saying, is like, okay, you've got a spike trap, but can you like play with the timing of those spikes to sort of like throw people off?
That's good.
Rather than just being on like on a set rhythm.
That's really good.
You know, it's like
chaotic.
this one is going on like a 1, 2, 3, and the other
Yeah.
one's on like 4, 5. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, wait, how do I get past it?
I wonder if they'll do like a Super Mario Maker thing too, where you have to be able to get through it first.
Yeah,
before
that
you
would make sense.
Publish it or whatever.
You have to beat your own
Yeah.
before
Yes.
you can challenge others.
Very, very, very smart.
Cool stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, we got a Pokemon Presents.
Yeah.
Got to look at a few different things, including a fresh look at Scarlet and Violet. We didn't get any reactions in there. Damiani is in Xenoblade Land. Sounds like he's having a good time on Frame
Yeah.
Trap.
So
Yeah.
it sounds like yeah. I'm excited to play.
Half of this thing, I'm just gonna say it. It felt like a waste of time to me. I feel like there's some Pokemon fans that like every bit of that, but I think there are people that are just like into one of those games maybe.
Yeah.
And like not into the rest of that stuff.
The cafe looked cool to me. I know that's
the cafe
been
mix.
around. I just
Yeah,
like the vibe of it. I doubt I'm gonna play it, but it just looked cool, looked cozy, and I enjoyed watching just the presentation on it, even knowing that I probably wouldn't play it. I just
Right.
enjoyed watching that.
Just a lot of updates for like live service games. They started off with like a thing about the Pokemon Championships in London.
Yeah.
They talked about some Pokemon Go stuff, an event with that. Pokemon Unite is having its first anniversary. They introduced the
All
Pika
Pikachu.
party, the all
Pikachus.
Pikachu mode.
Yeah.
Buzzwole is added. He's like a grappling beetle-like Pokemon. And then they talked about some other gifts and events. Pokemon Masters EX is in its 3rd year. That trailer was weird. It's kind of sleepy trailer, but I guess they have a trainer lodge coming
Yep.
up. And then, Mewtwo's coming back to Cafe Mix. And I guess he's hard to
right.
satisfy.
Cool. Yeah. I'm sure.
But yeah, Scarlet and Violet. We got a new trailer. And then we got like a good 6-minute deep dive.
Yeah.
Brad, you watched this earlier
I
today.
did.
Yeah,
Same,
what are you
same,
thinking?
same.
Yeah.
It looks ugly, but also looks alright. Like visually, it's because it's a Switch game. It's old hardware, you know. It's just like I look at the ground and
Well, I
it's,
think it's them too, but
it's
yeah.
them too, yeah. But it looks alright. It looks fine. I think they said the trailer is like the first fully open world Pokemon game.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, wasn't the last one Arceus?
Arceus,
didn't
I
play
think,
it. I don't
wasn't
know.
fully open
Okay.
world. Plus,
Hey.
it's like still sort of a spinoff.
Yeah.
Ish.
I like the geography of the region you're in this time around. It looked really nice. And the colors, you get like a motorcycle. Your legendary Pokemon is a motorcycle now.
Your legendary Pokemon
That's-
is a motorcycle
that runs.
and a plane.
That's Final
and,
Fantasy
like
13
a
shit.
climbing cliffs, like going straight up vertically and going out as a boat.
Yeah.
Like it's everything.
Okay, yeah, sure. Why the hell not? I guess that's fun. I guess.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's Koraidon and there's Miraidon.
Yeah.
Based on which, well, actually, I don't know if those are specific to which version you're
Yeah,
playing.
they
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty
But
sure.
I'm pretty sure that they are. But what's funny, the funny thing is like Koraidon, they both have these big wheel things, but every time they showed Koraidon like going, it was like running like a lion with the
Yeah.
wheels not doing anything. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Why did they make it a motorcycle? I wonder. Why not
Exactly.
just make it? You ride the Pokemon normal.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. I blame Breath of the Wild probably for that motorcycle or something.
Well,
That was
they
a
got
good
one.
motorcycle. I love that
Oh
motorcycle.
no, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it. It's just goofy.
It's,
Miraidon
yeah, because they're
gets,
not
like,
even using the
jet
way. They're just
engines.
running. It's weird.
Yeah, that's true. There's multiplayer.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're gonna like. I know there's like raids you can do, like team up with people. Like that's fun, I guess. But like, they showed them out in the world. I'm like, oh, what are you? Is there like stuff to do out there? I just don't know because I haven't really played Pokemon in so long. But
Yeah, I am
Pretty
sort
cool,
of
I
curious
guess.
about that because like say, okay, you're playing with your friends, you get into a battle. Do you
Can they,
all
like-
get into that
yeah,
battle,
can they-
or do
or
you get
they
into a battle
watch
and
or
they're
something?
going
Can they
off doing their
ninja
own
loot
thing?
capture
Can they
your
ninja loot?
Pokemon?
That's true, yeah. It's a big question.
Swipe in there. Same damn thing every time. Blood. I get so hyped on Pokemon, only to be disappointed. And yet again, I find myself watching this trailer, and it just looks so appealing. And it's happened to me my whole life, where it's just like, this looks incredible. I'm so hyped on it this year. I'm gonna dive into. I'm gonna catch some Pokemon, and then I play for a few hours, 3-4 hours, and I just lose interest.
Okay, how about the story this time around, though?
The
You're like a
story has me
student
hyped.
At a
Every
school, it looked like.
Yes, this is the most interested I've been in Pokemon in years. Everything about it, like even giving it the benefit of the doubt of like exploration, you know,
Yeah.
like. Maybe there are some cool places to explore. You were talking about the geography. Like, everything looked ugly
they
because
spent
it's a
lot of
Switch
time
game, but
with,
it
like,
looked
sweeping
cool.
Yeah, they're
shots
talking
of-
about treasure too. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, good colors, you know, at least good art style. That helps kind of the, like, not great visuals when you're in the open world, you know. The towns look really cozy and cool.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the malls. Whenever they showed somebody in a
Yeah.
mall, whatever, it, like those areas look pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, why that struck out to me.
I'm interested. It's just... I don't know.
It looks better than Sword and Shield did to me, so that's.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It looks really good.
That was the last time I played that. I didn't like that.
Are Pokemaniacs pumped? Because
I
as a
think- I feel
non-Pokemon
like
fan, it
people are
looked
excited for
really
this
cool.
across the
pumped.
board.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You can't get them
All
down.
you have to do to
You can't get
people
them down.
excited is show the starters.
Yeah.
And people get excited. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
That's it. That's all
They're
you need
hyped,
to do.
dude. Catch some Pokemon out
Because
there.
it looks sick.
Yeah.
It's like you got like a fake knockoff Donald Duck.
Pompadour.
Yeah, he's cool.
yeah. Yeah, dude.
So they talked about the game has 3 grand stories.
Yeah, they said one was like the gym badges.
Yeah,
the
so they
gyms.
talked about the normal like gym badge structure, except
Take-
now you can go in whatever order you want
Yeah.
to those different gyms.
It reminds me of Odyssey, right? You had like the main stories when you would open the map that you could go. It's like the kill the main Templar people, discover
sure.
all the artifacts or whatever. So I wonder if
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, not Mario
Yeah, yeah,
Odyssey.
Oh, I was
Sorry.
like Temple.
sorry. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Reminds me of that though, how you have kind of these big story arcs that you can kind of go at your own
Right.
pace and
I have to think one of the other stories has to be the treasure thing that
Yeah,
was
Find the
brought up in the
treasures.
trailer but not really
It's like
explained.
their school thing. He's like, go get treasure or something.
Yeah. But then they said you can tackle those stories in whatever order
Yeah,
as well.
interesting.
So whichever thing appeals
I
the
wonder
most
what
to you.
the third one is then.
Yeah.
Photography?
everything sounds and
Probably
looks
not.
cool.
But I
It's
bet
just-
there will be some of that a little bit.
The main thing that always knocks me off,
Mm-hmm.
2 things. 1, I get disinterested in the story. And then 2, discovering and catching Pokemon gets old quickly for me because you're always so OP in these games. So I never really need to explore and find Pokemon. You know, I'll just get my 5, 6, 7, 8 Pokemon, level them up, tackle, counter, whatever you want to do, take them out, and then it's just like, all right.
My
I know all the
My
Pokemon
problem-
fans out there is pissed right now.
My problem is the opposite. Like I get like way too like spread out and overmanaged. Like anytime, like it's like I'm trying to keep all of them leveled up. It's like you can't really do that, you
yeah.
know. Or I'm trying to find all of the Pokemon in an area before I move on, and it's like, yeah, then I never make any progress.
You got to do the raids, the late game raids.
So I just go to lose momentum.
Dude, and
yeah.
multiplayer and raids, dude.
Yeah.
This might be the one.
Yeah, so to get
might be
into the raid thing, I want to talk about this other thing that they introduced, the
Yo, is Damiani gonna raid?
the Terrastall phenomenon. So this weird thing where like Pokemon have gem form.
Yeah,
this was
in
a
this
gimmick.
game.
yeah, it's just like it's like when they grew big in the last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically that kind of thing.
Whatever.
But with this, it's like each Pokemon that you catch has a different alignment for its gem form.
Yeah.
And so you basically like have 2 different alignments. So I mean, I think that actually could
that-
Well, they
potentially
really
be more
is-
strategic.
Yeah, the collection. Not only people are going to want to get the shinies now, Blood, they're going to want to get the right variant of the shiny.
Yeah.
So
Because they
that's
hype,
fun grinding.
they hype that up about the not every, like if you find a Pokemon and you give it the diamond or whatever, it may just stay normal, but there are variations of the same one that can change types.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like every Pokemon is like it has its base like normal Pokemon Pokedex type, but then it's got this other the Terrastall type, their Terra type. That so it's like okay, you could have something that's like a flying type when it's normal, but then you turn it into a gem, and now you've got an electric type.
Okay.
And so you can play around.
So that's the end game meta.
There could be strategies there to play around with your team, so that like when somebody swaps out their Pokemon, it's like you don't need to swap out, you just need to change them into gem form or whatever. And then they're talking about rarer Terra types, and that's where the raids come in. It's like okay, you team up and you get like finish the raid battle, and then you catch this guy that has a rare
maybe
type.
that's the third grand story is the raid
raids?
stuff,
I
the
don't
end game raids or whatever.
Raids were in the last game too, though, weren't they?
Yeah, well, Sword and Shield had some of that,
Yeah,
but I think
something
that these are different because one of the things they said that you can do is that like you act independently, the timing versus
so
other
you don't have
players.
to wait for your teammates.
Right.
That's
so
cool.
You can attack and you can heal and all of that while other players are also doing their thing. So I don't know if that'll be just like a cooldown for each person or like how that'll work.
It's like who gets the Pokemon at the end, or does everyone get it? I don't know.
I think everyone might get it. They did mention that in the overview, but I kind of missed.
Try for that ninja loot.
Ninja.
Yeah, I'll steal it.
We saw a couple of new Pokemon in here. We saw a Paldean form of Wooper, who is like brown with like bones sticking out of his head.
It says like poison around him or something.
He's got a poisonous film covering his body.
Cool. House of Ashes.
We got Cetitan, which is like this spiky land whale.
That thing was sick.
Yeah, it's like a white.
That was
wrecking
Huber bait.
ball.
Yeah, that was Huber bait. Loved that thing. Can that be in your party?
Yeah.
That thing was
it's just a
huge.
Pokemon.
It was
You just
huge.
capture it. Yeah.
So huge. I was like, this thing is like, it felt like it's bigger than a tree.
There's huge Pokemon out there.
Yeah. Because I didn't know if it was like a special, like you can only use it at certain times or.
I do think that's something that's nice with these newer games is like actually seeing them out on the
Scale.
field and seeing them at scale.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than just like, and now you see it. Yeah. And then the third one they showed, Fido, the bagel dog.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. Yeah, okay. I remember.
Rules. Thing is amazing.
Oh, Pokemon.
Good
Names.
Yep.
It basically is a little dog. We'll try to get this on screen at this point too. But it's like a little dog with like bagels for ears. Yeah.
Depending on how the stars align, what I'm playing, end of the year, when this hits, what's going on in my life.
November 18th, I think.
I am close to being in on this. Like I'm a little tap away from going in. Streaming with the
Well, like you
allies,
said,
do a
like,
little multiplayer with chat, rating. Sounds hype.
Yeah. Well, and also like whatever the normal multiplayer, it's like if you're just like basically in a session together and you don't need to like always be like 5 feet away from each other, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm just playing the game and you're playing the game right
That's
alongside
awesome,
me.
yeah.
Then that could be cool.
I wonder what the draw distances of your companions. How far away until they disappear on that thing. I'm wondering because I saw when I was playing Sword, I remember like those open areas or whatever, and it was like gone. They had like 5 feet in front of you, then they'd just be gone. I was like, cool. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But it did look better than I thought it was going to. So well done.
Yeah, for
Well
sure.
done.
Yeah.
We've got more news to come, but I just want to take a quick moment. If you like what you've seen so far, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. That not only helps us get that on camera. That not only helps us. Now they're done. We missed it.
I was looking the other way. Sorry.
Look
There
at
it is.
the other
Ding,
way.
ding, 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 ding.
My mind immediately went to Demon Souls Tower of Latria. Yours too?
I went to Bloodborne actually.
Oh, okay. So we were in the same wavelength.
enough,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But that not only helps us get in front of more eyeballs, but it helps you stay in contact with us and know when we're doing things. So when we do previews, when we do reviews, and some other things, like we can't always give you a heads up, so you can get that right in your box as soon as it's ready and know that we did something. Also, if you're on any podcast services, listen to this. Drop us a review. I was looking at those Apple Podcast reviews and like, oh, most of these were a long time ago.
Yeah.
So if you want to put your thoughts, your 2 cents in on the format of this show the last few months, since it's changed hand a couple of times, go and do that.
Let us know.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Well, look, I'm here somehow. That's weird. How did that happen? What goes with a great summer vibe? How about a checking account with no monthly fees? Like a cool breeze, Chime is a refreshing way to handle your money. With no monthly fees, no maintenance fees, or minimum balance fees, it's how banking should be. And when you need to access your money, you can do so fee-free at more than 60,000 in-network ATMs at many locations like Walgreens, 7-Eleven, and CVS. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime, fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them. Chime, no monthly fees, no vibe-killing fees. Sign up for a Chime checking account. It only takes 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/allies. That's chime.com/allies. CHIME as in Michael Huber. Chime.com/allies. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees apply except at MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Other fees such as third-party and cash deposit fees may apply. Go to chime.com/allies and get started today. Today's episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Honey is great. Shopping online is great. Saving money while shopping online is great, and Honey does that. It's great. Honey looks for codes, promo codes. Doesn't it feel weird when you're checking out online and you see that little promo code thing taunting you, empty, impetuous, and you don't have anything to put in it? The Honey fixes that problem. You never have to check out without a code. Honey just searches for a code and plops it right in there for you, and it's free. Honey's great. Use it. Thanks to Honey, manually checking for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site, and blam! If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. I use it all the time. Clothing, bras, synths. I bought a synth earlier today and it found a code. Thanks, Honey. 10% off a synth is like $1 billion off. It's great. I love it. It really does save me a lot of money, and it's free. There's literally no reason not to use it. Honey doesn't just work on desktop. Did you know? It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari, on your phone, and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could straight up be missing out. By getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/allies. That's joinhoney.com/allies. JOINHONEY.com/allies. ALLIES. Honey is really good. Use it for real. It's good. Check it out. Okay, bye.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right, our third headline for today is a weird one. It's a weird one.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to pick a pronunciation.
Oh, yeah.
Koch Media.
Koch.
They say Koch, right?
Changing their name to Plaion, spelled Plaion.
Excellent.
We'll put the logo up for you.
Plaion.
But yeah, so like the
Plaion.
German pronunciation is like Koch,
Koch, yeah. Koch.
And then the way they've told people to say it in English is Koch.
Okay.
They said it.
They said it. We'll get to that too a little bit. But yeah, if you're not aware, this is a company that owns Deep Silver, Warhorse, Milestone, Prime Matter, Flying Wild Hog, Volition, Free Radical Design. A lot of different studios under their belt. They themselves are owned by the Embracer Group.
Tracer, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The biggest franchise they have right now is probably Saints Row.
Yeah.
But they've also published Shenmue 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Hunt Showdown, Metro Exodus, tons of other things.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yo, Metro Exodus, shout out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks, Blood.
what do you think about the name Plaion as an alternative?
I like the older name better. Koch. It's just fun, more fun to say. Plaion is just like, that sounds like someone who's never played a game coming up with like a video game name. Play on.
Yeah, it sounds gimmicky, mobily, amateur-y, whereas like, you know, the Koch has like a business, like law
It's straight
firm
business, right?
vibes. Yeah.
I remember seeing
Professional
it in a Gamescom, like, who's
vibes with
this?
that
You know, it's
name,
like, yeah.
Reminds me of Play Online, that old Square thing.
We got to give Brandon Jones a nod because a couple of summers ago he was like at a Judges Week thing, a pre-E3 thing, and that's where the Koch came from, because he was saying Koch and everyone's like, what? What the heck are you saying? It's like, that's what they said. That's what they told me to say. And then we found that there's this video like from like some head of the company that was like literally like just about how to pronounce their name in different territories. And then in there he said Koch if you're in North America.
Dude,
like, okay.
that's like when Blood would say CD Projekt or whatever.
Yes,
We're like,
dude,
what? He's like, that's
yes.
how it said. We're like, whoa.
The best.
I didn't do a lot of that. I mean, it was a short-lived period.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Went nuts with it.
Holy shit.
But in the GamesBeat article on this change, they even talked about it. It was like, of course, it was also a problem that many people never knew how to pronounce Koch. I'm still not sure myself. And then they quote people at the studio, even us, honestly. Sometimes in internal conversations or negotiations, we pronounce it Koch Media, even though it would be more like Koch in German, explained Weber. So we use Koch as a name. Even we use Koch as a name. So Plaion is much easier going forward.
It is.
But I texted Brandon about the change, and he asked, but how do you pronounce Plaion? Because here's the thing, there's also a game, Ion. Remember Ion?
Yes, I do.
A-I-O-N?
Yes,
You
I
just
do.
So it looks like Plaion,
Plaion.
potentially.
Play on.
Oh, God. They can't win.
Nope.
Can't win. But they did release a trailer today that does end with them clearly pronouncing
Smart.
Plaion.
There you go. Play on.
They also put out a press release.
Play on, gamers. That's what it sounds like.
Oh my.
So it's time for a round of press release me. It's been a while.
Whoa, press release me?
Yeah. So if you don't remember how this little game we've got going works, basically I am going to read through this press release, and when you can't take anymore, you say release me.
Okay.
And then it will keep going until the last person goes. And Don, you're in on this too. So
Excellent.
when you're out, then say release me, okay?
Okay. Can I just say I'm 100% behind this move of renaming the media company? I don't want to say what I've been pronouncing this name for the last few years because we're going to get muted or something, but it was definitely incorrect. You know who these guys are behind? Let's not forget the Capcom arcade stick, the 2-player at-home arcade. That's Koch Media, okay? And every time the splash screen came up, I said, what the hell is this corporate entity, Koch? So I'm happy, even though it's a generic, play on, whatever, spelt weird, at least it's somewhat related.
Yeah.
Gaming now, and they did that.
Yeah, because that's the thing too, right? Is like when you see, somebody's name media, like it doesn't necessarily say whether they're about games or whether they're like all kinds of different media. Are they gonna have, are they about film? Yeah.
All of it nowadays. It's all one.
Are they a TV company?
All right, Blood, let's get to your game.
All right, here we
play
go.
on.
For Play On, say release me when you can't take anymore. Koch Media is now Play On, putting play first. Koch Media's rebranding to Plaion represents the result of years of continuous growth. Larkspur, California, August 4th, 2022, Koch Media GmbH announced that effective today, all Koch Media companies worldwide will be named Plaion, accompanied by a complete rebranding. A message from Clemens Kundratitz, co-founder and CEO of Plaion.
Release me. That's all. We don't need that.
Over the last 28 years, we have built an incredibly strong business, partnering with many of the best-known names in the industry. Since joining the Embracer Group in 2018, growth has accelerated, and we have become increasingly diversified. To reflect the evolving nature of our business in terms not only of content, but also of geography, as we continue our expansion across the globe, we have chosen our new name to better portray who we are and the journey we are taking.
Release me.
Yeah, that was all boilerplate filler.
Release me.
Our new name offers us the
Surprised you made it that
opportunity
long.
to build on our rich history as a publishing partner and our outstanding, constantly growing network of world-class development studios and creative people, to keep delivering premium service to our partners, to highlight our ambition as a global player within the entertainment industry, but also to reinvent ourselves. Our vision is to enable and inspire our worldwide teams and partners, unlocking their full potential. Our industry is incredibly dynamic. The expectations of our customers and our partners are continually evolving, and we must recognize this. Relying on our strong foundation, Don is a trooper.
I'm enjoying this.
Whilst embracing change, we'll deliver something new, something better.
Release me. I don't want to know the new and better. That was perfect.
There we go.
Cliffhanger. We'll wait
There
for the
we
next
go.
press release.
Oh, thank you. All right, Brad. I put you through that. Now it's time. Tactics Ogre Reborn is finally
officially
official.
announced, man. I'm waiting for this announcement forever.
After at least 2 leaks
So many
showing it
leaks.
off.
So many
Maybe
leaks.
3?
Yeah.
I think 3. Because it was in the Nvidia
Yeah, I believe
back.
so.
And then there's been a couple like store leak things, right?
Yes, there has been. It's finally happened, Bloodward. I'm really excited to play this game, Blood. I do like tactics games a lot. I've played the first, or the PSP one a little bit, which is Let Us Clean Together.
I think Let Us Clean Together was even the subtitle of the original Super Famicom
Super
game.
Famicom, then PS1 and Sega Saturn
Saturn
version.
version, yeah.
Then they did the PSP one. That's the one I've played a little
There's
bit.
also the GBA version, which is the one I played.
That's a different Tactics Ogre, I think, though.
I think it's still
Is it Let Us
a
Clean
remake
Together?
of that. Yeah.
Okay,
They
well-
just called it like Tactics Ogre Advance or something.
Well, I
along those
played
lines.
like the
Yeah.
5th version of this game then, and it's really sick. It's Final Fantasy Tactics before Final Fantasy Tactics. It's the same guy that made all of that.
Yeah.
Matsuno, I think is his name, but super rad RPG. If you liked, I mean, people have been begging for Final Fantasy Tactics forever. Like, this is the next best thing you
Yep.
could hope for. Like, if this comes out, like, Tactics is
coming.
guaranteed coming then,
1
pretty much.
billion%.
Yeah. It's coming officially November 11th for This is weird the way they wrote it. PlayStation 5/4, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. And this version is based on that PSP version.
Yeah, they added like voice acting, which is sweet. I'm
So
not
that
sure.
voice acting is new to this version.
Yeah, I believe so.
Not on PSP
I
at all.
believe so. You can correct me though. I can't remember. It's been a very long time.
I'm
But
curious whether they're doing the whole game or if they're just gonna have like key cutscenes.
I don't know. I don't know either, Blood. There's some sick dialogue in this game though, so it'll be awesome. I think this game's like $50 though. I was like,
is it?
whoa!
Whoa! I didn't check
I
the
think
price.
it's pretty expensive, and I was like, whoa, that's Square Tax, man,
Yo,
coming in
my
as
God.
always.
Always.
There's some tactics for you.
What
Yeah.
a tax. Jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah, because I mean,
$30
really,
game.
it doesn't look all that different than
No,
the
it looks
PSP
pretty
version.
similar. I was just looking at
Even the
PSP
GBA
one.
version, it doesn't look that
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
It's got kind of
The,
a weird smoothing thing
That's
going.
the thing.
Yeah.
Probably a little. 'Cause
That
it's
to me is what
the
looks weird.
higher resolution, probably. I don't know. Maybe there'll be a different mode, hopefully, but I'm sure there'll be a PC mod for that.
Yeah, it would be nice if they had like a more like pixel
Like
accurate
a little rougher
kind of version. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Looked incredible to me. I know the diehard hardcores out there are maybe a little concerned with the look a little bit. I saw that floating around. It's always so nice, like Halo style, right? You push the button, you get the old and the new.
Yeah.
But like Brad was saying, my eye can't even really tell
It's not
the
enough
difference.
for it to like really annoy me.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm just happy it exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's, to me, like in motion, like it's not as distracting.
No.
But then when I was like looking at those screenshots and like, oh man, this feels like the Final Fantasy
Pixel
ports and that
remaster.
kind of thing. Yeah. Not even the Pixel remasters,
Oh,
the
it's not
earlier
that
ones.
bad.
Yeah.
Come on, boy.
It's not quite that bad.
The
But it
anthology
reminds
one?
me of that.
Come
It's sort of in that same vein to me. But yeah, also the trailer was a little weird in that like they would put like 5 screens,
Yeah.
5 or 6 screens, like and cut really quickly
don't
between
know
things and
what-
shuffle them around. And
I
like,
would love the Jones take on that.
yeah, like I can't follow
'Cause
what's
it's like
happening
a
here.
tactics game. They're like, we got to make it look crazy, get people amped.
They also slid in this Ogre Battle Saga Episode 7, and you were
Yes.
looking into this,
We were
Brad.
looking into this. Yeah, there's like what 5? I think there's 5 Ogre Battle games or something like
It
that.
said this one is 7. The first game that came
March
out
of the Black Queen.
was 5, so it went from 5 to 7, and then Ogre Battle 64 is 6.
Okay. But wait, so the one before 64? What? No, the one before 64
which would be this.
This
was
game.
the only other one?
Yep.
Then there
So
was-
the
Oh, wait.
original, the
No,
original,
this came out. Okay, right.
the original game is 7. The one that's
No,
coming
this-
out,
Okay.
this one
one
that's
is
coming
7.
out. That's what I mean.
Okay.
It went from 5, 7, and then 6. 5, 7, 6.
Got it. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
There are 5 original games in the
Yeah.
series and a remake.
Craziness. It's so hard when they start messing around with those numbers.
confusing. Yes,
Yeah.
it's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Start with episode
Yeah, Ogre
4.
Battle 64 is like one of those like famous games that like I wanted to play
So sick.
before it came out, and then just like the circumstances of when it came out
Mm-hmm.
and not, being an adult yet and not having money to get that many games.
Yep.
And
Blockbuster,
then
baby.
It eventually came out on on the virtual console,
Mm-hmm.
but by then it was like your head's not in it the same way. So it's like you play the intro and then you like, never play
Yeah.
further than that.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Yeah, I'm just hoping this series will get a lot more love now on because Tactics is a beloved game. People love that game, and it's like you want to see what made Tactics. Like this is the series. This is it.
E3 2023 Final Fantasy Tactics announcement.
Maybe they have a lot of they have like a lot of Tactics games.
But like
year.
this, I feel like there's a lot of these they don't do like E3. They find these random times
True.
to talk
well,
about
they
them.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Triangle Strategy though, that we knew about that for a while,
Yeah.
and that was this year. Then Dio Field Chronicle was kind of out of nowhere, I guess.
That the Triangle Strategy team though, they always seem to do that. It was like we're gonna put it out and we're gonna get all your feedback.
Here's your demo. Yep.
and then we're gonna work on it for a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Whole other conversation just about like remakes and prices and all
Mm-hmm.
that. That's a hot topic right now. And it's like, it is so weird because it's like, if they just put the original on like PS Plus
Mm-hmm.
subscription, I'm sure like just, I want that version, It's like, remake's cool. But it's
Right.
like, this is a classic legendary game. It would be cool if there was like an alternative to.
Yeah. I mean,
every
that's
time I wish that they
Yeah,
had
if you got both.
like
Yeah.
the
Like
original
Final
version in there.
Fantasy 7, baby. That's how you do it.
I do
Yeah,
think that
exactly.
in this case it's a little weird because like we were saying is like there's so many touch points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't even think the original Tactics Ogre came out in the US.
I don't think so.
I think we didn't get anything until like the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And even that one I'm not sure about. And then
Yeah.
like I was saying, like I played on Game Boy, you played on PSP.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if you include, another version in with this remake, which version is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I wonder.
Totally.
But it's been a big year for strategy games. You're looking into some of those.
Yep.
Triangle Strategy, Dio Field.
Yep.
Kind of different vein, but there's also Mario and Rabbids
Yep.
and Midnight Suns.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Shit.
What's some other ones that you were looking at?
For this year, no. I mean, I have to
Okay.
play Triangle Strategy. I own it. I haven't played it yet.
But I mean,
Dio
just
Field
like coming out though,
Dio Field and this, I was waiting for.
the big ones.
Yeah, but I want to play Rabbids too because I've been playing the first one
Yeah.
recently. It's cool.
So do you think that Final Fantasy Tactics is the next thing, or do you
Yeah,
think
I
that they're
do.
going to do more Ogre Battle stuff?
I think they'll do Tactics next.
Yep.
Tactics just seems like more of a guaranteed
Yep.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
pleaser.
And I'm curious with this coming from the PSP version if they would also go to the PSP
The War of the Lines
version.
version?
for
'Cause that's
sure.
the iOS version, I think, too.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
so.
That's right.
Yeah, War
Yeah,
Lines
so
for
that's probably
sure.
what they consider their canon version at
Yeah.
this point.
Balthier in that.
I just want to look and see where this price is. I'm
That's
curious.
dope.
Yeah,
Premium
double check for
edition.
me. Double check for me, Blood. I could be wrong.
So it's Premium Edition, Standard Edition. All right, let's see. Select platform, PlayStation Physical. Let's go to the Square Enix store.
Oh, it's only from their store.
So
Physical.
PS5 is $50
Yeah.
on the store.
I hope PS4's $10 cheaper from that.
I bet it is. No, it's still $50.
Okay. Well, if they're the only ones doing the physical, then
And
maybe
then let's
that's
look at
why.
Steam.
Because they have done that before, I think.
Steam, $50 on Steam even.
Bucks, pay up, baby. I'll pay it though.
Premium
No
is
question.
$10 more.
If you're curious, wait for a second.
I'll pay that
Yeah, I'll pay it.
day one. I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. You put out something I want, I'll buy it. That's how it works.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also this week, Gloomwood.
Gloomwood.
Early access was delayed to September 6th, and New Blood used Cameo to get Sir Malcolm McDowell to
So
help
funny.
deliver the bad news.
Legendary.
Good way.
One of the best. Love the man.
Who's that, the one we were watching, Don? The T2 kid.
Oh, Eddie Furlong.
We
has
need
a-
him to do something for us.
Yeah, he has an excellent cameo. I'm on there constantly just watching his messages to other people.
Yeah.
I'm addicted.
Does he do the line that I always
Once in a while, what the shit? What is it? Hey, Brad, what is it?
Fuck
Line?
you.
Yeah, that
Fuck
one.
you.
Yeah. Hey, probably does whatever you want,
He'll
man.
do whatever you want.
Pay
He's
him.
he honestly is though a really nice guy. It seems like on that cameo. I like watching his messages to people. Super genuine dude.
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I forgot what games he called out, but he also thanked 2 games specifically for delaying so that they was room in September for him.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I-
I was laughing when I
That was
was,
funny.
I was just giggling, dude. I loved it.
PlayStation is retiring the accolade system from the PlayStation 5
This is really
multiplayer.
funny, Blood.
If you don't know what that is, you're not alone.
Blood, I discovered these accidentally like a month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah?
And I saw that I had one. A friend, like a friendly one. Someone gave me like a friendly one. But then I
Was
was
they
like,
all friendly?
there's like,
Can you
there's
make
like
a mean
different.
accolade?
That must be like what the
Yeah,
specific
it's like helpful.
accolade was.
Friendly, or there's like 3 or 4 different ones, and then I forget what I was playing, like Fortnite or something, and I wanted to like give someone one.
We couldn't figure it out.
Forget what I was playing. I'm so sorry, but I was playing a game and I was trying to give it to someone, and I kept like clicking on their profile, and it would like show up all the trophies, and then after like 45 seconds,
enough.
I was like, all right, screw it.
Right.
Well, they're doing the stars thing now, or whatever it's called, their new reward program. So
Yeah.
that's just taking over, I guess.
Well, no, this is a whole different thing.
I know, but
Yeah,
it's like no
yeah.
one used this thing, and they maybe
Right.
they'll tie whatever kind of things into that new program if they want to.
Smart and encouraging move to shore up unused systems and that just get it out of there. It's encouraging to know that PlayStation was aware, or Sony was aware that like no one was using this thing, so they're just gonna cut it.
Yeah.
That's
Smart.
That's what they did to the Vita, man.
They fucking did it to the Vita, bro. Vita.
No
I had
one's
a
using
Vita.
this thing. Just cut it.
I did my
what
part.
happened.
I did my part on PSP and Vita.
I didn't have PSP.
Vita.
Oh.
Vita height.
I had a Vita. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of cuts, Blizzard and NetEase reportedly scrapped a deal for a mobile World of Warcraft game that was in development for 3 years.
Fucking Batgirl
3
situation.
years, dude. Wow.
This is a new era. Here we go again. Batgirl headlines just went down, and now this. It's like people are just okay with dumping it.
Well, they're owned by Microsoft now, so or they're
Well,
gonna
they're
be.
not yet, but yeah.
They're gonna be. So
Any like tax write-offs for this, or what's the word, Blood?
I'm sure there's something along those lines.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure there's something.
But yeah, they
kickback.
basically, though, they couldn't reach a deal.
yeah,
Like,
some sort of
there's-
deal. we don't
however
know
their
why.
financial arrangement was going to be, who's going to get what cut of what. They couldn't work it out. So they're like, yeah, we don't
They
want this
worked
game then.
on- They worked on Immortal, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if something changed after that.
which is also getting
Tons of money. Tons of money.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if NetEase was like, hey,
We want more.
we're getting a lot of money off of this Immortal thing. We want a bigger cut on the WoW game, and Blizzard was like, no.
Yeah.
Not getting that.
I wonder. Weird. Did they talk about any details on the game specifically?
I didn't write all of that down.
Specifically World
but
of Warcraft?
It sounded like it was, it was World of Warcraft, but it was like a different era or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A different era of World of Warcraft. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because they're doing that other what's that other Warcraft game coming out? I forgot what it's
Right.
called.
Yeah. I know you'd even read it looking this up, and I forgot it again.
It's okay.
But yeah, it was like the kind of like the toyish looking one. Yeah.
I remember that game.
Yeah, it's coming. In a bid to increase authenticity, the new Forza Motorsports multiplayer mode will feature a race weekend-like structure with open practice, qualifying, and a featured race.
So sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, this is very
love
cool.
this so much. Bloodworth, the weekend vibe. I love it. This is such a 10. Because Fortnite has this built-in thing where it's like, yo, play in these events, the cups, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's kind of clean, it's kind of ugly, like the menu, but it's just all in there, all muddled, like this day, you don't even know. So I love the idea of just like the weekend. You get to the weekend, and you're like, dude, I'm going to do some tournaments, some Forza tournaments this weekend. It seems like something you could look forward to each week.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't know
like
if it's
it.
actually like a actually like calendar weekend, but it's sort of like because like F1 is the game that I know like can point to that does this even when you're going through the career.
Yeah.
You can do full race weekends, and it's basically about getting to know the track, right? And like really like having to like have that endurance long term. And so it's like, yeah, you get your practice sessions in, you've got these programs like, okay, like this is what you need to do to conserve fuel or conserve tires
So
or
cool.
to like get your qualifying speed up. You do your practice runs, you really get to know that track, and then you go out and you do your qualifying, and then that determines your grid order, and then you do the race. So it's interesting that they specify multiplayer for this in particular, but it's just something that like I've always felt like Forza could use this,
Yeah.
So because it does give you a better shot at doing something rather than like just like jump onto a track. You don't know what's going on. You
Hope
bump
for the
into
best.
this guy over here, or hope and like everyone's trying to do their best, but they just you're just not necessarily as familiar with it.
Yeah.
Even if you've played it before, it's like you just get your head in the game.
Totally. Get your head in the game.
Amazing Bomberman is out for Apple Arcade August 5th, mashing up classic Bomberman with pop music on this. The trailer is completely overstimulating. It's like you see the Bomberman match, and then you have like this Japanese woman in the background singing and lots of flashing. And like I don't know for sure if it like should have an epilepsy warning, but it feels like it should.
Crazy.
One of those kind of trailers.
It's Konami, right?
Yeah.
Bomberman? Yep.
Apple Arcade is also getting Jetpack
That's right.
Joyride.
That's
2
right.
Sometime this month.
Jetpack Joyride is definitively and unquestionably pretty much the only mobile game on a phone that I can say I love. I love Jetpack Joyride so much. So that came out a long time ago. So I'm very, very excited for this. Jetpack Joyride 2, I'm in.
Nice.
Yeah.
A new Halo novel is coming out August 9th. Halo: The Rubicon Protocol by Kelly Gay. It's a prequel to Halo Infinite. So if you're like me, played Halo 5 to catch up, and then only found yourself lost again when Halo Infinite started.
Yep.
Now you can try to figure out what happened in between those two games.
Hooray. Cool. Yes, yeah.
With a book.
With a book.
Sweet.
Oh, the Halo universe, man. Gosh. It was just, Brad, it just is just a funny experience to me.
I remember you going through those games and you got to 5. You're like, what's happening?
Well, it's like when I got to the end of 5.
Or Infinite, I meant.
Yeah, and it was like, cliffhanger.
Yep.
Sweet. This is nuts. Ready to see what they do next. And then it's like, Oh yeah, we're just gonna skip all that.
Yep.
We're gonna start you with a completely different story now. I'm like, excuse me?
Yep.
Same
Sweep.
thing. Same thing, bud. Same thing happened to me.
Rubicon Protocol, whatever that is.
Big fan of prequel, sidequel, sequel, whatever, all that like media book stuff for games. I'm a fan.
Some cases I can be, but I feel just like Halo is just so weird.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to follow without trying to consume all of it. And even then, I'm not
Absolutely.
sure. Does that help you follow it, or is it just more stuff and you're still confused? I don't know. It's time for Love and Respect. Crunchy, Rufus.
Love and respect.
Yeah, we might need to replace that battery soon.
Oh yeah, black lung.
Pull out those tools. They're somewhere.
Rufus got COVID.
No. Rufus not been around COVID. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, he's been quarantined this whole time.
From Hydelcius, good day to you, allies. I recently got the PC port of Ocarina of Time up and running,
Right.
and I'm utterly blown away at what has been achieved. The amount of options you have at your disposal gives way to a lot of experimental gameplay. I started my first ever item randomizer run, and it makes you completely rethink the entire layout of the game and where every possible item and chest could be. I've managed to complete the Dongo's Cavern as adult Link, and I finally found the Kokiri sword in the Fire Temple. Wow. Even though the game's code has been recompiled to run natively on PC, you still need to download a debug version of the ROM to use the game's assets. Is all of this technically legal? Is there anything Nintendo can do about it? What are your thoughts on the PC port, and will you check it out if you haven't already? What other Nintendo 64 game would you like to see ported to PC in the same way? So yeah, legality, nah.
No.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Having to download a debug version of any Nintendo
I don't
game,
think that's
not legal.
Yeah.
Nintendo is like top 3 corporations I don't want to fuck with.
Right?
For sure. Mm-hmm. They will take you out. But this one, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
This one seems a little trickier
It's that specific
them.
part. It's the download the debug version of the ROM. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Not from a legal standpoint, no. The rest of
I
that
think so.
stuff, like if you're like somehow like popped your cartridge into some slot that hooks up to your PC and then it like
Yeah, you make
PC
your own ROM or whatever.
essentially,
or something
yeah.
like that, I
then
guess. Yeah.
yes, there's some wiggle room there, but the rest of it is not happening.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of this PC version. I think it has like ultra wide support or something crazy like that.
Interesting,
It
yeah.
seems like I would love to see these games that I love just running in new ways. So yeah, I would be totally interested in it. And I've always wanted to try randomizer, but I'm not as familiar with the game as I would like to be again before I do it. Because I don't remember where things are still right now.
Right. Well, I remember
How long has it been?
I never finished it, but essentially the Master Quest was sort of
Kind
that
of
kind
the
of thing.
dungeon,
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
Remixed that whole game, made it harder.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Master Quest. Wow, what a cool pre-order bonus. That
The
whole
best.
thing, man.
So rad.
Damn,
Pre-order
these used to be
bonus,
sick.
dude. Yeah. Top 10 regrets of my life, dude. I sold that Master Quest.
Oh, did you?
Top 10 gaming regrets. It's definitely one of them.
Oh, gaming regrets.
We're gonna get into some other of those gaming regrets here in a little bit.
Just a poor kid. I needed money.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy new
Yep,
games.
We all been there.
From Brandon K. Gann. Hello, everyone. There's always some variant of the question, what game could you forget to re-experience for the first time? Or would you forget to re-experience it for the first time? But I find myself in an odd position of actually doing this soon. On an impulsive whim, I made a bulk purchase of digital games, one of which was the HD PS3 version of the original Killzone. I played through it once on PS2 many years ago, and while seeing some environments and hearing some dialogue recently, I got hit with flashes of memories from that playthrough. So, to spin the question in a different way for you all, if you all had the time, that with the caveat of only being able to play a game or a franchise you either never played or barely touched to the point that you can't remember playing it in the first place, what would you like to revisit from yesteryear? So basically like something from the past that you'd want to revisit that you think you probably barely remember.
So revisit something from the past that I don't remember that well.
It's like you played it, but it's all gone.
Play too many games. Shit.
I can't remember. Man, there's a lot of games in my head.
I got one that I really want to replay. It's been so damn long. It just got re-released, and I somehow have not booted it up yet because my Switch is broken. Win Back.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Absolutely one of my favorites as a kid. I loved Win Back so much. I don't know how it holds up. Probably has aged a little weirdly, but it would, I beat that thing a bunch of times as a kid, like you do. You just replay games. There was like an awesome multiplayer. Mm-hmm. But like my memory of it is just like Cobra unit comes in and gets like a GoldenEye satellite and you got to stop them. But like everything else I don't remember at all.
Right.
So
I don't know if I'd actually be happy that I replayed this, but maybe Star Fox Adventure.
Oh.
I beat that game and I don't remember like anything beyond like
Right.
the first
I could
hour
not
or
beat
two.
that game.
And it's just like,
One of the few games I just straight up dropped because I was bored.
it's like if I just
that's a GameCube one, right?
Yeah.
if I beat it, I'd probably be not happy that I played it again.
That would be such a fun revisit, Brad. That is such a good pick.
Weird game.
Looking at that
Weird
with a
game.
2022 lens, like, dude, were we
Especially
too hard?
now that we know about that game.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow. Because it looked so good. The visuals.
It did at the time, yeah.
I've got 2 NES games in mind. One, Little Nemo the Dream Master.
Dude, yeah.
I remember loving
that
the
game was
heck
sick.
out of that
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
And it's Capcom too.
Yeah, so good. That game's awesome.
But because it's like a license thing, it's just like one of those things
Yeah,
that never
kinda,
came back for whatever reason. And then you're talking about your regrets, Kabuki Quantum Fighter. I, at some point, gave that away as a trivia prize.
Ugh.
And it's like I like box and all, and man, like I just feel like that's one of those games that's sort of like underappreciated. Like it's like in terms of like the gameplay and mechanics and stuff, it's sort of like right up there with Contra and all that.
Sick.
But it was just like lower marketing budget or whatever, kind of a weird premise because it's like you're this guy who is like going into like this virtual reality, this cyber reality,
Sick.
and like while he's in the cyberspace, he like turns into like a kabuki actor.
So
And
rad.
so like he's got this giant like long red flaming hair,
Dude.
and you headbang enemies. Whip enemies with your hair.
That sounds incredible.
Played it so many times when I was a kid, and then I gave it away when I was like 19 or 20
Yeah.
as a prize, and then realized later, like, oh, that's really hard to get a hold of, isn't it?
Yeah. I bet that's hundreds now
Yeah, and then
for like just the cartridge.
you would like hang from the like the platforms that you'd hang under, and then you like flip up on top of them, and then there'd be like bosses like that where you'd have to hang and then like flip up and then attack on top and then hang again. And like a lot of climbing too. I remember like a lot of ladders in that game.
So cool.
Sick.
But it'd be, totally be cool to play again.
Love that. I want to hear Don's pick.
Yeah.
Mine is funny. The only thing that popped into my mind, which I've never gone back to, is an entire franchise. All the earlier Final Fantasies, believe it or not. I loved these games as a kid, and I played through all, 1 through 6, 7, 8. I mean, I played, I think through 10, I was pretty consistent before I started to fall off. But I've never, ever gone back to any of them as an adult to like replay them. And I loved them, and I remember very little, even though it's like this massive franchise. I love those games. Never gone back to. I know Brad's getting
Fantasy
upset.
16, Don.
Brad's
Next
getting-
year.
Oh yeah.
Make it right.
Yeah, Don.
Time to come back.
Yeah,
I
Don.
love these games, but I'd never have had a chance. And if I had a million more hours on my hand, I think that'd be my first. I just start again, go through them all.
We just got to turn it into work for him or something.
Somehow find a way. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a piece on Final Fantasy, but I need capture of all the games, Don. So
Entire game, by the way.
Yeah, we've done
All
that
side
before.
quests.
Yep.
When it was 10 years easier
Yeah.
or more, 15 years by now. Jeez. From Even, is there any point in year 1 With modern gaming seeming to follow the practice of being constantly updated, revised, and remastered, I was wondering if you could think of any reason for anyone who doesn't actively work in the industry to purchase a game on day one, or even within year one. I recently started playing through the Dark Souls games, having never played a From Software game before, and I am loving it. Though now I'm on Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, and friends are telling me that it's much improved over the original version, even ignoring the added DLC. And this coupled with more recent examples such as Cyberpunk and another better version of The Last of Us, they don't exactly
Not
give
necessarily
a
better.
compelling reason for jumping in day one, and more seem to encourage anyone to wait a few years to buy and play anything. Can games do anything meaningful to bring back trust and encourage day one adoptions?
I mean, it's just if you want to play the game or not at that time in
Right.
your life. Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty much the whole answer. Like, I think about games. I'm glad I was there for day one for, like, Breath of the Wild. That was awesome. And, like, Elden Ring day one is awesome because everyone's talking about it. Everyone's there. It's so sweet. Like, yeah, some games can improve over time, but some, like, remain relatively same. Like, Mario Odyssey's, like, the same damn game when it came out, pretty much.
Right.
And it's still great.
Yeah, there was another question that was very similar to this one, where it's like, is there anyone that you trust, to buy on day one? Yeah.
Oh, like
Yeah.
developers?
Yeah.
Right now, it's like From Software for me right now.
I have a lot of loyalty
Yeah.
when it comes to that. So yes, I agree with everything Brad said. Yeah, it's if you want to play it now.
Yeah.
Obviously, patches rule, and every game in the months after it's released, not every, like, I'm just gonna say almost every game. Yeah, like we'll have some patches to kind of sand down those rough edges. With Ollie Ollie, I'm thinking of that right now. It's actually been cool because, that came out right when it came out. I missed it, but now I'm kind of coming to it a little later, and all that DLC's out. So it's
Right.
like, okay, now I can just take on this whole package. But again, like Brad was saying, just with Elden Ring at launch, like I love Stray just had this. Like these magical moments when a game hits and the whole industry, or just so many people are talking and analyzing that game, and like sometimes that conversation can get really loud and noisy and annoying, but kind of my favorite thing is playing a game right when it comes out and then revisiting it later, years later, with that fresh playthrough. Then you get to take advantage of all those patches and everything. Just did it with Fallen Order. That was such a great experience playing that when it came out, that Star Wars hype. And then now it's like, dude, the next gen version.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's kind of like I get to play this for the first time again. Like,
Right.
so.
Yeah. There's definitely something to something like an Elden Ring or a puzzle-based game where people are figuring it out together.
Yeah. Really quick.
But yeah,
Two examples. They mentioned one. Cyberpunk. If a game is busted or like
Yeah.
not in the best state, absolutely hold off. Like any kind of situations like that. Yeah.
No one's telling you to buy that.
Yeah, day one. Yeah. So if there's any weird catastrophic issues, of course. And then like Life is Strange Remastered, similar thing where I was ready to get that day one. And then
But you see, that goes to the point that I wanted to make, is that I feel like there's sort of this sweet spot, like they're saying like year one or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a sweet spot usually, unless it's like a crazy Cyberpunk thing,
yeah.
where like maybe like 6 months or like 8 months after a game comes out, like, okay, the big glaring issues have been tied up. It's in a good spot. Maybe it has a couple of DLC things going on. But then sometimes if you wait too long, you get this other side of like, they don't care anymore. And that's what I mean with Life is Strange Remastered.
Oh my
where it's
God.
like, it's like, oh yeah, we're putting this back
still
out and it's
going.
worse
Yeah.
than the original version. And it's like, why would I buy this version and not the original version? There's no good reason for it other than you took it off the store maybe.
Yeah.
It's just, and the Sonic thing that just happened,
The Origins collection.
Sonic Origins garbage.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That there's so many games that this kind of thing ends up happening to. Silent Hill remasters, another like famous one. It's just like, dude, why?
Missing the code or that whole story.
Batman has
so
had some weird stuff.
Batman
too.
Return to Arkham. The lighting's not the best. It's not the best way to play, but it's sharper and runs and plays on newer consoles. So it's take what you get, I guess.
Compromises.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. It's like there's a sweet spot. It's like get there while it's still on its original platform, where it still has like the original developer's vision, and nobody else coming in and monkeying around with that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to like make an extra buck.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just if you want to play it, that's the reason you buy it. If you're
Can't
okay with waiting,
Well, that's
I'm
the other
not.
side of it too. Is the sweet spot of like when they cut it down in the price before they raise it back up.
Yeah. Just got Dying Light 2 on sale. Yeah, save some money.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that I want to get to that I haven't got to yet.
Yeah.
Just to hear what he was doing with the music in that game.
Oh, sure.
The dynamic music in that sounds crazy.
That's Olivia. Yeah. Plague Tale Requiem, too, I saw. Heck yeah.
Always does cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
It's time for bets. This week's bet: Arcade Paradise
Okay.
launches next week, August 11th. This is a sim game, I guess, sim-ish game,
So hyped.
where you transform a laundromat into a full-fledged arcade. In the launch trailer, or the most recent trailer that's available when we check, how many laundry baskets will appear? Brad.
4.
4.
Going low.
Huber.
8.
8. Oh, you wrote it out. I was like, wait, what's that? What's on?
Yeah.
Don.
I went very low. I went 2.
2
Awesome
laundry
drawing,
baskets.
dude.
Only 2 for Arcade Sim.
And then I've got the high. I went 11. So we'll see.
We will.
See.
We absolutely will see.
Count
How
some
many?
baskets.
Did you count the baskets, Blood, in the previous trailer? How many were there or anything?
I don't know how many there were exactly. No.
And we should clarify, right? We're talking about handheld laundry hampers, not
Right.
the push
We're not
carts
talking about
with
the rolly
wheels.
baskets.
Okay.
Yeah. Last week's bet: Frogun launched August 2nd. Cute PS1 N64 style 3D platformer.
Looks sweet. Looks like Brad Bait.
I was going to check the storage requirements on the game's Steam page to see how big the file size would be. Joke's on me. Steam never updated to put the file size in there. I thought it would just be there like PlayStation.
Yeah.
It's always there, right?
Thanks a lot, Gabe.
Yeah. So apparently that's not a required field on your requirements. So I bought the game to find out, which is thankfully only $12. Last week, Huber bet 1.2 gigabytes. Isla bet 3.2 Googie Fruits. Don bet 4.1 gigabytes. And I bet 2.87 gigabytes. After I bought that game and the installer popped up, the required disk space listed is 1.53 gigabytes. Giving
Close.
Huber the win.
Close one.
Less than half a gigabyte away.
Wow.
Bringing
Wowzers.
our scores to Massive Chubs 12, Splish. Malodorous Sea Lions 16. Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. That is how we are funded. We operate thanks to payments from viewers and listeners like you. We get some ad money. It does not do a whole lot, but it helps. But the majority of what we do is from people who watch our content, listen to our content, and decide that it is worth paying for. And so you can go over there and you can give us $1 a month, or $5 a month, or any other numbers that are on those tiers. At $1 a month, you do get this podcast without any ads, and you get 2 bonus Love and Respect questions. At the $5 tier, you get early access. You also get some exclusive shows like Spoiler Modes and Trash Babies. And you get to submit to Love and Respect. You also get to our, access to our Discord, which you basically get to give us news tips. There's a video game news channel in there. People are posting stuff all the times. Sometimes I'll grab those things and like, hey, that's something I didn't see yet.
Yep.
So that's worth possibly putting in this podcast.
You also get to submit to Frame Trap for questions also.
Yeah.
Want to ask us gaming stuff.
Submit.
And then, like I said, we always need your help. Definitely join in there. If you're on those higher tiers, you get other rewards as well. At the $200 tier is the Play With Us tier. Me and Hubert played Sea of Thieves with some guys.
Yes.
Like last week or the week before. I think it was last week. I haven't even been back that long.
We were all so bad at it.
It was so funny because
We didn't know how to play.
I expected there to be like one like Sea of Thieves
I know.
aficionado, like
I
expert
know.
in the group. Not one of us.
No.
Not one
Yeah.
of us.
I'll do it.
Like,
can
shit.
sail.
I was like, what am I doing?
So yes, if you are so generous to be on those tiers, there's some fun perks, including shout outs for the top 3 tiers. And this month's shout outs go to Jabawabs, Elthanis, Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb, Togi Crawford, and Anna Croft. Shout out. Was Don in there?
Yeah.
I was in there. You couldn't hear
Okay.
me? I
I
still
missed
got to
it.
talk louder. Everyone's.
No, that's okay. I was like, we
out.
turned this volume down a little bit ago, so it's okay. It's okay. Huber,
Yo.
you won that bet. Real
Sweet.
close call.
Close one.
You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off
Is that thing you were working on up yet?
thing.
My live review? Yeah,
Nice.
that's up.
Yeah, Live review. Check it out. Brad Ellis, review master. A lot of those.
Review master.
Yeah, dude, a lot of reviews.
It's JRPG season.
Yeah.
We're all working on JRPGs. Actually, I think I can say now because I think the preview went up this morning. Not my preview, but previews in general. Soul Hackers 2.
Oh, yeah.
Just barely getting started. But
I
yeah.
dodge a lot of those JRPG reviews. Anything to reiterate? Dude, replaying games, rewatching movies, Dawn. I love it. I love this. You know, the experiencing something right away is really cool because it's fresh and there's that unknown. But then really appreciating, that's the word you used, Dawn. Appreciating something when you come back to it and just really, really further like analyzing it and feeling it and getting to know it. And today's the day. Let's get Shenmue 4!
That's what they did to the Vita, man.
They fucking did it on the Vita, bro! Vita.